Welcome back to our channel, where we document the unique, strange, and sometimes dangerous journeys of humans as they exploit and celebrate the precious gifts that the ocean has to offer. In today's video, we follow Japanese fishermen on a special fishing trip, not tuna, nor giant squid, but a mysterious and somewhat terrifying creature, the giant moray eel. The giant moray eel, or dai unagi in Japanese, is a creature that lives deep in the crevices of rocks, coral reefs, and dark crevices of the seafloor, with a length of up to 2.5 meters, a serpentine body, and razor-sharp jaws. This eel is not only a challenge for fishermen but also a priceless culinary treasure. They often live in seclusion, rarely showing themselves. Hunting an adult moray eel requires experience, patience, and traditional techniques that have been passed down through generations. Unlike net fishing, to catch this species of eel, Japanese fishermen must use special longline fishing lines that can be tens of meters long. Attached with large hooks and live bait such as herring, anchovies, or sometimes small squid, fishermen will choose reefs near the shore or offshore, where there are many caves, where they believe the eels are hiding. Each time they drop the line, they wait. Sometimes it lasts for hours, just to feel a very light tug from deep under the sea. The sound is quiet, only the sound of water and wind. The camera slowly zooms in on the fisherman's face as he looks intently at the end of the line. Once the eel has taken the bait, it does not struggle like a fish. It bites the bait tightly, retreats into deep caves, making it extremely difficult to pull it up. The fisherman must maintain tension while slowly luring it out of its hiding place. If he is hasty or careless, the eel will hide deep in the crevices of the rocks, and it will be a total loss. At this moment, skill and patience are pushed to the highest level. A small mistake can also cause the whole day's efforts to go down the drain. And then, after more than an hour of struggling, a giant moray eel is pulled onto the deck. Its body is thick and slippery, shining in the early morning sunlight like a dark copper-colored wet silk. Its eyes are small but bright. Its mouth is open to reveal teeth as sharp as daggers. The fisherman uses his bare hands to firmly hold the head, placing it on the wooden table, where the preparation will take place right on the sea. With a specialized scalpel, the chef makes a decisive cut through the nape, then slowly cuts the belly lengthwise along the eel's body. Inside is a thick, firm, and bright red layer of meat, the ideal ingredient for high-class dishes. After cleaning, the eel meat is washed in seawater right on the boat to keep it fresh. The slices of meat are as thick as an adult's hand and carefully arranged on bamboo trays lined with banana leaves. They are then marinated with a mixture of mirin, sake, and brown sugar, according to a traditional Japanese recipe. On the deck, small charcoal stoves have been lit. The fragrant smoke mixed with the aroma of the sauce rises, blending with the sea breeze to create an indescribable feeling. Each slice of eel is placed on the grill, turned evenly to ensure both sides are evenly browned. The oil from the eel meat drips onto the hot coals, creating an attractive sizzling sound. Close up, the chef uses a bamboo brush to brush the sauce onto each slice of eel. The chef uses a small bamboo brush to dip in the sauce and gently brush it evenly onto each piece of grilled eel. Each brush enhances the flavor, creating a thin, crisp caramel layer on the outside while still maintaining the soft, rich sweetness on the inside. After about 15 minutes of grilling, the eel meat has turned dark brown, shiny and has an irresistible aroma. Each portion of eel is served with a bowl of hot white rice, lightly sprinkled with Japanese pepper and chopped green onions. Just the first bite, you will understand why grilled moray eel is so highly appreciated by the Japanese, not just a dish, but also a part of the soul of the ocean, passed down through the skillful hands of those who live with the ocean. And the journey is not over yet. Dozens of fishing lines are being dropped to the bottom of the sea. Each line is a hope, a challenge, and also an affirmation of the strength, perseverance and love of the deep sea of the fishermen here. As night falls, the sea becomes quieter and deeper than ever. In the darkness, fishing boats still quietly lower their lines to the bottom, where giant moray eels are still hiding among the cold crevices of the rocks. Fishermen call this the golden hour of eels. Because moray eels have the habit of hunting at night, they begin to leave their hiding places, quietly swimming around the crevices of the rocks, looking for prey in the dark. This is the perfect time to fish them out using a manual technique that has existed for hundreds of years. On the deck, an experienced old fisherman is attentively watching every little movement from the end of the line. His hands are shaking not because of fatigue, but because he clearly feels something swallowing the bait, then turning and retreating. "Now pull," he whispered, then resolutely pulled the line with all his strength. An eel as big as an adult's calf rose from the water surface with a splashing sound. The big head and sharp teeth bared as if to threaten the person blocking the way. As soon as the eel was brought up, the whole deck seemed to be watching anxiously. The young people quickly rushed in to hold its body. The eel was slippery as if it was oiled, struggling fiercely, but no one let it slip away. Everyone understood that each eel this big was a valuable profit, not only in terms of commercial value, but also as proof of the ingenuity, bravery and endurance of the seafarers. In the dim yellow light, the group of chefs began to process the eel right at night. The wooden cutting boards were wiped clean. The knives were sharpened to a sparkling shine. The eel was thoroughly cleaned with seawater. The skin was carefully peeled to keep the perfect toughness of the meat inside. The chef cut the eel into large, thick pieces, then marinated it with a special soy sauce mixture, with the sweetness of cane sugar, the aroma of sake and the characteristic viscosity of mirin. Then, each piece of eel is clamped onto a bamboo grill. Ready to be grilled right on the deck. In the middle of the vast ocean, small charcoal stoves are lit. Smoke rises high, blending with the night mist to create a hazy layer. Each piece of eel is grilled evenly. The fat dripping onto the hot coals makes a sizzling sound as if whispering stories about the ocean. The chef uses a small brush to spread the sauce evenly. Each time he spreads, the flavor is deeply absorbed, making the eel become smooth and fragrant. Everyone present can clearly feel the aroma spreading in the middle of the night sea, a magical harmony between nature and human hands. After a few minutes of grilling evenly, the eel is placed on a bowl of hot white rice. Sprinkle a little Japanese pepper on top. Add a few thinly sliced green onions. When put into the mouth, the soft and sweet taste melts, rich and warm like a hug in the middle of the cold ocean. No one said anything, just quietly eating. For these fishermen, it is not just dinner, but also the result of a whole day of drifting and persistently fighting with the ocean. As dawn broke over the horizon, the ship began to turn around. In the cold storage compartment, dozens of moray eels had been carefully processed, cleaned and preserved in large iceboxes. Each one had its own value, the result of the hard work, sweat, and sometimes even blood of the seafarers. The fishermen were all exhausted, but their eyes were still bright, because they knew that, on land, high-class restaurants, famous chefs, and countless gourmets were waiting for the freshest moray eels, caught from the deep sea, by their own hands. The journey to catch giant moray eels is not just a profession, but an art that requires courage, patience, and a heart that loves the deep sea. And for Japanese fishermen, it is a source of pride, a heritage passed down through generations. In the middle of the cold ocean where the waves are constantly roaring and the winds are blowing from the north, a fleet of modern Japanese fishing boats is heading out to sea. This is an icy sea, where the temperature is just right for the water not to freeze, and is also home to a precious fish, the most fatty, white and delicious in Japanese cuisine, cod. The journey to catch giant cod begins with days of meticulous preparation. When the captain Engineers and sailors check every part of the ship, from the radar system, the locator to the high-capacity trawl system. Each piece of equipment is specially designed for the deep and cold sea, where cod gather in schools of hundreds of thousands, but hide deep at the bottom of the water and move irregularly. Once the ship has reached the target sea area, the entire crew begins to work tirelessly. The fishing net was prepared, a giant seine net, hundreds of meters long, capable of covering a vast area of water. The sailors, in thick protective suits against the biting cold, stood in rows, checking each mesh, each line, making sure there was no mistake in the process of dropping the net. From the control room, the captain monitored the fish on a modern sonar screen, where small moving dots of light indicated the presence of hundreds of tons of cod swimming in the sea. When the right moment came, the command to drop the net was given. A whistle sounded, and the giant machine began to release each meter of net into the sea. The tons of nets slowly sank, expanding like a giant trap to encompass the school of fish below. From the deck, each member of the crew observed the movement of the net through an underwater camera system. When the entire school of fish was within range, the flaps closed, and the pulling process began. That was when the whole ship shook. The powerful electric winch system roared, pulling each heavy net up from the bottom. Seawater splashed. Fish struggled under the pressure, and every moment of pulling the net was a race against time and endurance. Under the high-pressure lights, Hundreds of codfish appeared one by one in the salty water. Their bodies silvery white, smooth and heavy. Some were up to a meter long and weighed nearly 20 kilograms. Cheers rang out as the first fish were poured onto the deck, creating a vivid picture of the results after many hours of struggling. Without wasting a second, the sailors quickly transferred the fish to the processing area located right on the ship. Here, each cod fish was brought to the table, cleaned, beheaded, gutted and washed with cold seawater to maintain maximum freshness. The large fish were kept to be filleted, defleshed and frozen directly using the super-fast refrigeration system. Each piece of cod meat is cut into white, soft and fatty, and immediately packaged in international standard cold storage. Smaller fish are stacked into large crates, covered with ice and prepared to be transported to the mainland. In the deep freezer compartment of the ship, hundreds of tons of cod are carefully preserved, waiting to dock and set sail for the world. The atmosphere on board is both tense and filled with a sense of satisfaction. Each fisherman clearly understands the value of what they have just brought back, not just crates of ivory white fish, but also the result of hard work, fighting with the ocean, and a burning love for the job. While the crates are gradually filled, the fishermen continue to work in the dark. When the sun has disappeared behind the mountains in the distance, the ship turns around to prepare for a new catch. Because the cod is constantly moving, and every hour is an opportunity not to be missed, the next net is lowered, rotating day and night, bringing hundreds of tons of more cod to the deck. Just like that, during many days at sea, the fleet worked tirelessly, taking advantage of all weather conditions. Tides and sonar signals to optimize each fishing trip. When the hold was full, the ship turned back to port. The journey was hundreds of nautical miles long, but everyone was radiant. Cod, the fish of winter, of the cold deep sea, of calloused but passionate hands, has become the pride of the people of the Japanese coastal region. Giant catchers are not only a source of life, but also a symbol of the connection between humans and nature, between modern technology and traditional crafts, between the vast ocean and fishermen who always risk their lives to bring back the best from the ocean. And when the ship docks, the crates of pure white cod will be transported to bustling fish markets, luxury restaurants, and traditional kitchens. Every slice of fish, whether grilled, steamed, or freshly sashimi, carries with it the flavor of the ocean, and the unspoken story of the fishermen who have sacrificed their youth to nurture a world-class cuisine. The waves will continue to crash against the side of the boat. The on the large ship swaying in the vast ocean. Dozens of fishermen wearing waterproof jackets and thick gloves are busy preparing for one of their largest catches. This is an important moment of the day, when the giant net has just been lowered deep into the sea and started to be pulled towards the ship. The sea wind is blowing hard. Each white wave crashes against the side of the ship, but it does not reduce the concentration of anyone on the deck. Everyone knows that under the dark blue water is a real treasure, hundreds of tons of cod swimming in schools. Caught in the sight of the modern positioning system installed on the ship. The sonar and underwater sensors help the fishermen determine the exact location of the school of fish. The giant net, hundreds of meters long, is firmly designed with large steel rings holding the frame, and is gradually closing below. This is a modern bottom trawl, operated by a system of cranes and giant hydraulic pulleys. When the signal sounded from the control cabin, a group of fishermen pulled the net using an automatic winch system. Meter by meter the net was rolled up, carrying the lively ocean below, cod nearly a meter long, weighing more than 10 kilograms each, sparkling silver in the early morning sunlight. The scene at this moment was truly overwhelming. Fish poured out of the mouth of the net like a waterfall, creating a lively flow that spread across the deck. The cod struggled in the last moment before settling neatly in the water channels leading to the processing area. Each such net, the ship can collect from 80 to 150 tons of fish, depending on the size of the fish school and the depth of fishing. Fishermen do not rely only on luck, but also on the art of calculation, coordination between experience, technology and timing. After the fish are brought up, the processing stage begins immediately to maintain absolute freshness. A group of workers work continuously, some gut, some decapitate, some clean, some sort by size. Modern machines support neat and quick cutting, while the automatic conveyor belt takes the fish through the inspection stages. The head and bones will be transferred to the animal feed processing area, while the whole fish meat will be deep frozen by the direct freezing system right on the ship. The atmosphere on the ship is now full of urgency but not chaos. Everyone clearly understands their role in the continuous chain of work. The captain stands in the cabin, monitoring the nautical chart and weather conditions, planning the next catch. Each safe containing hundreds of kilograms of cod is sealed, labeled with a barcode for traceability, and prepared to be brought to port. This is a high-value product, especially in the European, Japanese and American markets, where cod is considered a high-class ingredient for luxury dishes. Outside, the sea is still roaring in the cold wind, but the modern ship is like a steel fortress that still firmly holds its ground in the storm. The satellite positioning system connects directly to the headquarters, continuously sending information about the journey, the amount of fish caught and the standards for protecting aquatic resources. On each trip, the fleet must strictly comply with regulations on net size, fishing time and permitted operating areas, to protect the sustainability of the ocean. One of the special features is the accompanying waste collection process. Foreign objects such as broken nets, plastic bags, bottles caught by fish are also classified and kept on board to be brought back to the mainland for